Hi, I'm Deacon John Moore, and you're watching WYES TV in New Orleans.
Good evening. I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, John Kemp, art columnist for Louisiana Life magazine. Good to see you, sir.
Hey.
And Teunnerman, founder of the upcoming Tales of the Cocktail. Good to see you, Miss Anna, once again. And yes, singer and band leader Deacon John, celebrating his 75th, count him, 75th birthday with a bash of Tipititas tomorrow night. Hello. He'll be performing for us a little later in the program. And theater critic Alan Smason. And Poppy will be back with us in 2 weeks. He'll be back soon. It's a little busy. Anyway, we're so glad that Ann will kick it off and talk about Tales and some new things at Tales, huh?
Yes, we have lots of new things this year. So which ones do you want to start with? We have so many new things.
Well, we'll talk big picture first here. Okay. First of all, your dining and drinking events, they're multifaceted, and people can go, of course, to the Tales of the Cocktail website for that. Mm-hmm. But I know you have a lot of nice new activities as well, including the Tales Restaurant Week. That's very good, and some dynamic duos.
We do. This year we actually have over 90 dining and drinking events, and we take a lot of pride in those because we want to send our attendees to our great bars and restaurants to enjoy our great, food and cuisine. So the spirited dinners we've done since year one. So with those we pair a bartender and a New Orleans chef, and they create a menu together that's paired with cocktails. Last year we added Restaurant Week, and it was very successful. So for the people that cannot make it to a dinner, they can go have a similar experience with a price-fixed meal from July 15th through July 20th. And some of these are as low as like $25 for lunch with a cocktail included with it that's been paired with it. And then we have 30 dynamic duos, and those are a ton of fun. And again, we pair bartenders with local folks. So, for example, we have David Wandrich will be paired with Paul Gustings at Broussard's. And in most cases, it's people that want to work together, or somebody's their mentor or something like that. So it's a really fun spirit of collaboration.
And you have a very special, you have many special guests, but one of the most special of, Danny Meyer. Tell us about that.
Yes, we're very excited to have him. I mean, he's a huge name in the hospitality world, also really as an entrepreneur too. I mean, he has 25 James Beard Awards. He has a New York Times best-selling book called Setting the Table. And he really is the authority on hospitality, which is what is great. And when we decided to ask him to come, if you talk to a lot of people in the business and you ask them like the top 3 books they would recommend, his is the one that's always mentioned when it comes to hospitality, because you can make a well-made cocktail or food, but if you don't have that hospitality that goes with it, there really is nothing there. So we have him coming July 15th.
Now, I know there's the Spirited Dinner, but there's with Danny Meyer, but there also is a talk that you can just go and buy a ticket to the talk at the Harrah's Casino Theater too, right?
Yes, exactly. So you can go to our website again, talesthecocktail.com, and purchase tickets. And yes, we decided to have him in the Harrah's Theater, so it's rather intimate, only 450 seats. So, everybody will really have a great seat, and we do have about 100 tickets still available. So he's definitely well worth the time. And he speaks to a lot of industries too, not just hospitality, but we think it's really special to have him in New Orleans.
So with the Spirited Dinners, you've also got lunches and breakfasts. Tell us about that too.
I know, we have everything covered. We actually have 4 breakfasts. Those are new this year. We're calling them the Breakfast Club. And again, it's limited to 20 people. So it's just this kind of intimate conversation, not a seminar, not a talk, but a lot of them are with master distillers or people that, people want to have a detailed conversation with. And of course, we have to include Poppy. So we're actually doing 2 lunches at Tujague's that we're really excited about, called the Butcher's Breakfast.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so, harking back to what Madame Begay, called her breakfast before the word brunch was used.
That's such a good idea. So, now, what's the Meet the Maker demo series?
Meet the Maker is another new thing. I mean, we're always challenging ourselves for new things, but we've reached out to several people and have these curated items and these people that we're bringing in so people can meet them. For example, example, we have a bartender in Boston who worked with a knife company, and they created a special knife. We have somebody that's worked on a hand-blown mixing glass. So all these people that are making these products will be at the event that you can meet and talk to. And that's a real treat, because when you're in the hospitality industry, you want to feel that glass. You want to feel the shaker. You want to feel the knife, before you maybe order it, online, because these are a person's, tools.
All right, so once again, talesofthecocktail.com for more details. We've just given the quickie overview, but you did that very well, though.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lots to talk about.
Yes. Well, happy birthday, Deacon John. You're going to have a bash tomorrow night at Tipitina's.
Oh, what a time it's going to be.
Now, it's not a solo. You've got the big band, don't you?
Yes, the Deacon John Jump Blues Orchestra.
Ooh, how many pieces is that, sir?
16.
Man, that's a lot of music. That's going to be so much fun, and we'll hear some traditional, like what you going to do? You're going to mix it up?
We're going to play the music of your life. And your life is my life.
Well, good. I know a lot of memories will come back. But you haven't done that at Tipitina's. You haven't played at Tipitina's in a while.
I haven't played Tipitina's since before Katrina.
Wow. That is going to be so much fun. And, what I think is so amazing about you, sir, is that you've had many chapters in your life, too. And you've made your living from music all this time, huh?
Yeah, the only thing I can brag about is I was able to support myself my entire life by my art.
That's a very big deal. Not many people can do that. Huh? But we're really excited for you, and we're so thrilled you're going to be playing for us in just a minute. We also, though, want to acknowledge you lost a good friend this week, Harold Batiste.
Very dear friend of mine, Harold Batiste.
Music arranger, musician,
he was just a marvelous man, and he was a humble man. He came from humble beginnings, and he did so much in the music business. He was like the behind-the-scenes guy.
Well, Sonny and Cher, huh?
For 15 years with Sonny and Cher. And he started the first musician-owned record company.
All for One.
Oh, yeah, AFO.
Right.
And then, of course, taught at UNO for many years
taught at
as
UNO,
well.
and he and Ellis Marcellus started, the UNO music jazz studies program.
And also Dr. John, and
he was the one
his
who
persona, gave him the
gave
idea.
out Dr. John his persona.
It's amazing.
He did the first Dr. John Night Tripper album in California, and this is where Dr. John established his persona through Harold Batiste.
Well, we are thrilled. We've got Deacon John in the building, and now, though, we're going to let you go and do your thing. Here is Deacon John. He's going to move on over, accompanied by Robert Dabon, with the song Many Rivers to Cross.
Wide cliffs of Dover, many rivers to cross, and it's only my will that keeps me alive. I've been licked, washed up for years. And this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. white cliffs of Dover. It's been many, so much muddy water. I scream, but I can't seem to find. I can't find my way over. Wandering, I've been so lost as I travel along the white cliffs of Dover. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yes.
More time. Do not miss Deacon John tomorrow night for his birthday bash at Tipitina's, and there's all the information. What a highlight to have him here. And now it's time for our weekly Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring 3 works by photographer Melinda Rose. Rose has spent many years documenting the residents of a tiny barrier island called Ile de Jean Charles in Terrebonne Parish. First up, the new island playground. After many years of teaching, Rose went back to college to earn her BA in Fine Arts Photography. This one is called Lil Tune for the Wife. Being moved by the images on the news and the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, she relocated to Louisiana. This one is titled Jean-Charles Vauret. Her exhibit of the rising tide is on view at Scott Edwards Gallery. That's on Decatur Street through October 4th. It's open Thursday through Sunday from noon to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday until 10 p.m. Call 610-0581 or visit the website to see more. Very powerful images, very dear too. And now, speaking of art, John.
I'm glad you had a break before getting to me.
That was going to be hard to follow. He's back.
You had a nice little break in between.
Wonderful. Deacon John, yeah.
Well, actually, I have 3 shows tonight, and they have a sort of a common thread that connects them all. Talking about life, loss, transformation, death, and rebirth. The first one is called 10 Years Gone at the New Orleans Museum of Art. Now, at first blush, you might think that something has to do with Katrina. Well, it vaguely does, in the sense that there are, 6 artists whose work are in the show, and really only 2 of them pertain to Katrina. First, you have Don Dideau. Here, you'll see the watermarks of the flood, as the water receded, the watermarks left in the houses and buildings. She's a New Orleans artist. And the other one is coming up is Willie Birch, a New Orleans artist. And this is the vegetation that grew in his backyard, in his garden back in Tremay after the storm. All this new strange stuff that came into his yard, and it sort of changed his work to reflect this. And other artists, the other 4 other artists, are dealing with other issues, big issues. One was the World Trade Center. Others dealing with the ecology, the ecological problems we have in this country and the world today. I love this piece here. There's Christopher Salcedo dealing with the World Trade Center and that big tragedy that happened there. That's really linen on cloth. It's kind of a cloud-like, the tragedy that took place there, going up in the memory of that. Excellent show. The other one's called The Rising. Again, you might think has something to do with Katrina, but it does indirectly, in the sense this is exploring, showing the work of that onslaught of new photographers, young photographers like Melinda a moment ago, that came to New Orleans after Katrina to explore what happened in the city and this whole ambiance of New Orleans. And there were a number of artists, and they're working here now, and this show shows examples of the different works, 11 photographers, and what's kind of driving the subject matter that's driving contemporary photography in New Orleans today. And there were so many photographers coming to New Orleans after the storm, they formed the New Orleans Photo Alliance as an organization to help them, grants and so forth, and to show their work. See this one. This is at the Ogden Museum of Southern Art. And a third show that, again, has this thread of life, death, impermanence. It's not going to pronounce this correctly. Ouroboros, which is the Greek symbol. It's a group show at the Lemieux Gallery on Julia Street. It's a symbol of snakes eating itself, that infinity sign, consuming itself, which is meaning rebirth or infinity. And they have 9 artists in this show, and they challenge their artists to come up with artwork to depict in their own lives, life, death, the impermanence of life, the infinity, things that are going on, very spiritual in many cases, other cases dealing with Katrina in itself. There's one particular landscape we saw a moment ago. Aaron Belka is a new artist in that gallery. And I talk about the rebirth. There's a new development at the Lemieux Gallery. Denise Bethune, who started the gallery in 1986 on Julia Street, one of the pioneers down in the warehouse district, she is retiring, and she sold the gallery to Christy Wood and Jordan Blanton. Her two co-directors have been there for many, many years.
News.
And they take over the gallery on July 1st. And they're going to keep the same stable of artists, but bring in new artists. As the two pieces I showed you a moment ago, those are new artists that are coming into the gallery.
Wishing all of them the best. That's really something. That's exciting.
Well, they're a good
it's an
job
important
so far.
gallery.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
And New Orleans Magazine quiz queen Julia Street has a question for us. Last time, Justin York gave us the name of the parish where Grand Isle resides, Jefferson, and through which parish does a person need to get to drive there, Lafourche. Now, tonight's question. One specializes in hot dogs, the other in burgers. Both are on Ferret Street. What are they? Woo-hoo. Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a gift certificate for two, courtesy of Vianne's Tea House in Old Mandeville, offering their culinary and gourmet tea experience. And tonight, we have an apron with the message, Saint Bernard. And there's our wonderful Nola, our intern. And of course, that's St. Bernard. That's great. That's from wearablevegetables.com. And you can visit WYES.org to, of course, see our online calendar and our lineup of events, including Trinity Church's Patriotic Musical Festival this Sunday afternoon at the church on Jackson Avenue, and City Park's 3rd of July celebration with music by the Marine Corps Band New Orleans and fireworks from the Peristyle in City Park. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to view our program on our homepage. Now to Alan.
Well, the final performances of Lisa Moore's Detroit are happening this weekend, and so I thought that we'd maybe deal a little bit with some of that thought-provoking dark comedy. Take some time for anybody who wants to see it at Southern Rep at the Ashe Powerhouse Theater to get on out over there. Hats off to Amai Hayes, of course, for her brilliant direction of Detroit. But the tables are going to be turned because we're going to see her in the very first of the season openers coming up that we'll have for Southern Rep for next season. So let's take a look. Amai Hayes is going to be an actress in the first of the Sarah Rule playwright Stage Kiss piece that is going to be done as a regional premiere here at Southern Rep. I think that the location is to be announced, but we're hoping, of course, that Jason Kirkpatrick, who's going to be the assigned director, will find a usable space, and hopefully the Ashe Powerhouse Theater will come along board as well.
I can't recommend Detroit highly enough. I loved
it really is a terrific little, but it is a dark comedy again.
It is dark. Yes, it is. Okay.
Again, Stage Kiss is Sarah Rule. We remember her from, of course, the Vibrator play in the next room. Perhaps you might remember from A Clean House, but she's a wonderful, brilliant playwright, and she's going to have her regional premiere of Stage Kiss presented here. Again, I would like to remind everybody that she has won a number of prizes, so she comes highly recommended. Next up is Lance Nichols, who's going to be in the cast of Song of a Man Coming Through. Now, this is the story of Ernest Knighton Jr., who was convicted of killing a Shreveport convenience store operator. He was executed by the state of Louisiana. This is the story of what happens between the time that a murder occurs and a person is put to death, sort of like Dead Man Walking. The next on the agenda is going to be Orpheus Descending, in time for the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival. This is going to star Beth Bartley, who just got wonderful raves in her performance in Suddenly Last Summer. That performance is going to run in March. Again, the location will be noted later on. We also look forward to Colossal, which is going to take place in May. This is the part of the National New Play Rolling Network that they have. It's going to be essentially a new play for us, a regional premiere. And we want to remind everybody that Southern Rep has all the information on their website, which is southernrep.com. Now, over at the Old Marquee, which used to be called, of course, the what was it? The Shadowbox.
Shadowbox.
Yeah, I was trying to remember for a second. I've gotten it out of my mind now. The Old Marquee announced their season as well. They're going to start off their new play festival featuring Errata by Michael Allen Zell, who's done 2 works there already. Brand new play works. If you want to join into that festivity of plays, submit your script for consideration to the festival at lux@oldmarquee.com. In October, they're going to be presenting Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. We've seen a little bit of that most recently with Damn Yankees, the Faust story. This is the classic tale of horror, of course, where a pact is made with the devil. And the third show is going to be Late, a Cowboy Song by Sarah Rule again. So she's on their agenda as well. That's going to be in January, from January the 7th to the 22nd, the Old Marquee at 2400 St. Claude Avenue. Again, if you need to find out more information, oldmarquee.com. Then at the Mid-City Theater, and let's not forget them, in July, they have something called Riding Haley's Comet. Riding Haley's Comet is going to be presented in conjunction with the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And this is a story about a woman who is suffering from mental illness and her daughter who has to deal with the outgrowth, if you will, of that, and how to deal with the mother and love, etc., that goes between the daughter and the mother. That is going to be presented from July the 10th through the 19th at Mid-City, and we want to remind everybody that that's going to be happening as well. And part of the proceeds are going to go to NAMI. And again, we do have something else to mention. We had mentioned a little bit before that the All-Ways Theater became the Marigny Theater, and now, of course, Broken Habit Productions, Jim Fitzmaurice, is going to be taking that theater over. They're going to have a new name coming up in a few weeks, but they have announced the second of their productions. This is their first official production. Jim Fitzmaurice will direct. It's Margot Fanning and Catherine Talbot in The Book of Liz, running from July 31st to August the 8th.
Okay, and now it's time for picks. Anne.
I have a pick, of course, related to Tales the Cocktail, but we have our first ever co-branded product we're releasing this year. It's Tales the Cocktail and Bittered Sling, and we have 4 different bitters that we are selling, and each is reflected in our cities that we've been to on Tales on Tour.
Oh, fun. John.
It's a show at the Jonathan Ferrara Gallery on Julia Street. It's the debut show for Katrina Andre, large woodblock prints of the stereotypes of black people in the United States, and has become part of American Western culture.
Oh, wow.
Very provoking.
If you love Shakespeare, get out to see The Very Little Performed Cymbeline, a great production
That was
at the
terrific,
Lupin
too.
Theater
Yeah.
at Tulane University. Again, it runs Saturday, 1:30 and 7:30 p.m.
What a great chance to be able to see that. Gee whiz. Deacon.
Of course, my show tomorrow night at Tipitina's.
And you're going to be in, is it Waveland?
Bay Waveland Yacht Club, July 4th. And
All
for
right.
the first time, I'm playing the Satchmo Festival
Oh,
on
good.
July
Okay.
31st.
And you also have a Facebook page for more
Yes,
information
I have
about
a
everything.
Facebook. It's got my face on it.
We're going to let you get on up over there. And now, my picks, the Historic New Orleans Collection, will present its ongoing culinary lecture series, Marketing New Orleans, 300 Years of Making Groceries in the Crescent City. That's Sunday starting at 11:30 a.m. at the Williams Research Center on Charter Street. Admission is free, but reservations are required. Call 523-4662 tomorrow to reserve your spot. And the New Leviathan Oriental Foxtrot Orchestra will play Sunday evening at the Milneberg Joys 2 concert and dance. It will take place at the Chapel of the Holy Comforter on Lakeshore Drive near UNO's campus, and you have the information right there. For more information, you can call 282-4593. Cava Restaurant will be presenting a Night with Cava. That's next Tuesday from 5 to 9 to benefit St. Paul's Senior Center, and the restaurant will donate 20% of that night's sales from their bar and restaurant to the center. Looking ahead, the Acula Foundation presents their fundraiser, A Night Out with Acula, Friday, July 17th, and the foundation supports many causes, including Camp Swan. The camp provides a naturalistic setting to help children cope with the loss of a loved one. And tickets to the fundraiser at Southport are $25 or $40 per couple and may be purchased at the door by calling 8810-452. Now, here's Deacon John with The Way We Were. Thanks for watching. Good night.
every line.
had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories like the corners of my mind, misty waters colored memories of the way we were, scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Oh, has time rewritten every line? And if we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful, but then what's too painful to remember?